Now, the primary story for Attack on Titan follows the adventures of Eren Yeager and his friends, as in the beginning, they along with the rest of the civilians of the land are living in the high walls of the kingdom and have remained at peace for many years. That all ends quickly when enormous terrifying creatures known as Titans break through the walls and begin eating the civilians of the city, and Eren is forced to watch in horror as his own mother is devoured. Seeking revenge, Eren along with his friend Armin and his sister Mikasa all trained to join the Scouting Legion in order to wage war and eventually defeat the Titans. Now, that is just about the entire premise of the Attack on Titan manga and anime without getting too convoluted, and I can officially say that if you are already a fan of the franchise or looking to jump into and are just too lazy to read the manga or watch the anime, then this game's telling of the story will work just fine for you. As a fan of the series myself, I can happily state that the developers did a great job at retelling the entire first season of the anime series, and even went in depth and took some elements from the manga to help flesh out some important details during its 8 to 10 hour main campaign. After finishing the main campaign, I was surprised just how much further into the story they actually went, adding an extra set of story elements in its epilogue that I really was not expecting, but I feel are a welcome addition to the main campaign. Whether you are already a fan of the series and know what will happen before it happens, or looking for a few new story surprises, this game's telling of the Attack on Titan series will be well worth anyone's time. The primary gameplay for Attack on Titan serves as a fast-paced hack-and-slash action title that perfectly captures the combat style of the anime itself. You have up to 10 playable characters to choose from who all have their own unique special attacks, abilities, and command functions. Each mission will begin with you being dropped into a specific combat area, and using your 3D maneuvering gear, you will make your way around the combat area. When you engage with a Titan, you will have the option to lock onto a specific body part and must maneuver your character into the right position, and using the proper distance and the right timing, you will be able to deliver a killing blow. There are a wide variety of different Titan types that all require different amounts of attacks in order to take them down. There are even a collection of boss type Titans that will push your maneuvering skills and attacking skills to its max in order to achieve victory. The primary objective for most of your missions will be to eliminate all of the Titans in the immediate area. However, over the course of each individual mission, you will be tasked with a series of side missions which will range from you either aiding your fellow scouting members, to escorting civilians, to also taking down specific high priority targets. At any given time, you can recruit up to 4 party members to aid you in combat, and depending on their ranking class, it will determine just how effective in combat they will perform alongside you. As you are maneuvering through the combat area and defeating Titans, you will also have to refill your 3D maneuvering gas tanks, as well as replacing your blades as they become worn after each and every strike. After each mission, you will be graded on your performance and receive a specific amount of payment for your services. After and before every mission, you will be transported to a staging area, and it is here that you can talk to other scouting members as well as civilians in order to get an update on the current situation. During these staging areas, you will also be able to upgrade and buy different variations of your equipment that suit your needs. If you wish to take a break from the main campaign, you can take part in a series of scouting missions that will give you extra bonus content as your party level goes up. In conclusion, the main gameplay for Attack on Titan will give you just about everything you could want and need in a hack-and-slash title like this, including a few extra bonus contents that even big fans of the series would not be expecting, but certainly would not complain about that it is here. Now, for anyone who is familiar with the Dynasty Warriors franchise, you will notice that this interpretation of Attack on Titan does reuse many of the same gaming traits as that franchise does. Visually, it is not the most impressive title even on the current gen systems, and despite this title's flawless capturing of the feeling of what it would be like to actually fight in this world, that doesn't stop it from suffering from a series of gaming problems. For starters, the fast-paced action of the gameplay makes it really difficult for the camera to properly keep up with your movements, especially when fighting between buildings, as your view can be easily blocked, causing you to lose track of your character. Though the AI for the enemy Titans for the most part is spot on and very reactive, the AI for your fellow scouting members is really bad at times, especially during the escort missions. as I found myself having to constantly wait for extended periods of time waiting for a specific character to reach a target location, only to decide to move around in circles and sometimes head backwards, making the mission even longer. Another small issue with the game, though I feel was not very serious for my own playthrough, is that there is no English dub for the American version of this game, despite having a 6-month gap from its original Japanese release back in February. However, the biggest issue that I had with this game is really the challenge factor in its repetitiveness of the gameplay itself. Having spent well over 40 plus hours after finishing the main campaign and working my way through the extra scouting missions, even on the hardest difficulty, once you have figured out and gotten used to how to fight properly in this game, it takes quite a long time and requires a serious amount of effort from you before the game even gets remotely challenging. The first 5 to 6 missions felt very exhilarating at first, but then I found myself nearly falling asleep as most missions after that play out the exact same way with very little variation. However, these flaws didn't stop me from really enjoying myself when it really counted. Now in conclusion, I had a blast playing Attack on Titan the video game. I'll even go as far as to say that this game just as good of a job at capturing the feeling and atmosphere of the anime itself as many of the Dragon Ball games do for its franchise. Its action is exhilarating and entertaining for the most part, and those who are a big fan of this franchise should absolutely pick up this title. And those who are actually looking to become a fan of this franchise, this could serve as a really good entry into the franchise itself. Now, obviously, game design-wise, it's not flawless. The camera can get a little bit out of control at times. Some of your AI partners are stupid, making the game even longer than it needs to be. And the challenge factor for, at least in my experience, even the hardest difficulty for 80% of my playthrough, just simply wasn't there. And I had to put in some serious hours before I even failed a mission for the first time, which didn't happen until maybe 50 hours into my very first playthrough doing all these different side missions. So there is somewhat of a lack of a challenge factor for the most part. However, that doesn't stop this game from being a true, reliable, and resourceful interpretation of the franchise itself. And anyone who's, as I said earlier, looking to get into the franchise, this would be a really good way of actually experiencing the franchise for the first time. Now, if I had to give this game a rating, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Definitely still pick this up, maybe not at a full price, $60, but definitely at a sales price. And if you are a fan of this franchise, then this is absolutely a must-own if you have a chance to play this on the current gen systems. If you like my game review, feel free to like, comment down below, and please subscribe to be tracking my future game reviews. And like always, thank you guys for watching, you're awesome, and I will see you next time.